Hi guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to go through my different goals, what I'm doing to work on them, give you thoughts, feelings on kind of where I'm at now currently. So previously I have released a video of reviewing the goals, and that is specifically just looking at the goals step by step. Have I achieved them? Am I still working on them? Have I changed them? This week's video is going to be a lot more in-depth, showing you different things that I am doing to work towards them, kind of discussions about my mental health and the goals themselves, and yeah, actioning a little bit more and going into a bit more like real life detail rather than just a simple sit down discussion vlog. So I'm going to pass you back to past Lauren because I've actually filmed this video, went to edit it and realised I hadn't filmed an introduction. So I'm going to pass you back to past Lauren and let's go through our goals and work on them together. Don't want to fight you, and I don't want to slip in under. Please excuse the state of me, but I thought I would check in whilst on my workout break about my workout plan for the rest of the year. So this video is all about like goal resetting. We've kind of in the last video reviewed the goals that we've got and our thoughts on them, and this video is going to be us putting them into action, what that's going to look like. And basically, I'm just going to talk you through it. So I'm going to continue with upper legs and core workouts every month. Last month I was doing upper legs, core and a full body, and I was doing like no cardio except for my step. This month I'm doing upper legs, core, and I'm gonna have a workout of skipping. So I've recently got a skipping rope and I thought it'd be fun just to test a different way to do it. The issue we've got at the moment is in the UK is summer and we are in like heat wave after heat wave after heat wave. So I am currently a sweaty hot mess and I've just had to turn my fan off to talk to you guys, and honestly dying. So I've not been waking up on time, which is a right faff because it's too hot in the evenings to do a skipping workout. So I need to wake up on time tomorrow, fingers crossed, and get that workout done. But I'm still trying to work out in the mornings. I'm still keeping it to just at-home workouts. I have had a thought of potentially getting back into the gym and changing them into gym workouts. So we could see that happen. But I think if that was to happen, then I would do that on my lunch, and then I would then lose out on, I normally go for a lunchtime walk. So that obviously gets quite a good chunk of my steps in. At the moment, my step goal is hitting 5 of my Aura-ring step goals a week. So generally that's about 50,000 steps. It's sometimes less, sometimes more. And it also doesn't mean that on the days that I'm not trying to hit my step goal, I am like inactive and do nothing. It just means that it's not necessarily my full priority. I found recently I'm getting extremely burnt out with a lot of mental load going on. And I will get into like my mental health and stuff like that, but I found trying to hit 84,000 steps a week was becoming a lot, and it would end up being on like a Sunday I'm aiming to do like 20,000 steps, and that's just not healthy. That's not a good balance. That's massive amount of pressure on my body. And have I seen a weight increase? Yes, but in that kind of like plan, I've now looked at my nutrition and trying to scale back how much I'm eating throughout the day, not to an unhealthy amount, but just ensuring like what I am eating is fibrous and protein heavy rather than being processed and just a load of craps, meaning that I'm always hungry, never feeling satiated. And yeah, so that's kind of like the workout element. And then I did touch on my mental health. It hasn't been the best recently. I've recently been put on sertraline, which is a type of antidepressant, and I think it's a combination of life like lifing the past few years, it's been non-stop. I think potentially it's kind of suppressed emotions from a few years ago where I had like a really big episode of a bad time at work and stuff like that, and I'm not blaming it all on that. I think I suppressed a lot of that, and that's just not helped, and I've just built up on top of all of it. And obviously with my jobs changing and stuff like that, I am finding that it's helping, but I am definitely finding my mental health is still not great. I just feel lost and stuck in life, and I think I need to not stress about it because I'm still young, and my job, my career, my life can change so much. I'm not sure where I got to. I'm still so young, and like my career, my job, everything can change, and like my life between now and 5 years time can look so different. I know I definitely looked a lot different when 5 years ago I was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kind of 22-year-old teacher and feeling like I'm living my best life in my dream job, and like things quickly changed from that. And I've done so much in the last 5 years that if you'd have told 22-year-old me I would have done absolutely not, like wouldn't have even thought of it. So I'm just very much going with the universe at the moment. I'm taking it where things need to go, and at the moment it's in this kind of job that I'm in, and I don't see it being forever job, but at the moment it's financially keeping me stable, and that is all that we need. So yeah, mental health isn't great, but I think I just need, there are a few changes in life which I do need to make, and I think that potentially that will make me slightly happier. Not that I'm relying on that, I'm doing the work alongside it. I'm taking like the tablets that I needed. I'm working on recognizing signs and symptoms and what could potentially be causing it, but I also do think a few life changes are going to be needed to help with my mental health, which isn't always the end of the world. But I've rambled on long enough. I am going to get back to my workout and put the fan back on because right now I am just sweating. So yeah. Please excuse the lighting, but I did think I'd just come on here and give you a quick check-in about my content and how I'm working to move things forward. I am still a little bit like unsure on what I'm going to do moving forward with my content. I know I want to continue the YouTube videos like I am. I want to continue having one video a week on books and one video a week on lifestyle. So YouTube's not really going to change, but I do definitely notice the value in short form and multi-platform content. So I am going to try and figure out a way that I can tap into TikTok, tap into Instagram. However, YouTube alone at the moment is kind of like tiring me out. I am having multiple times where I'm just not wanting to, not necessarily film, but I'm not wanting to edit and then upload. So I'm kind of getting all these videos filmed and then I'm stress editing them at the end of the month to kind of stay ahead. So I think I need to get into some sort of a better routine with that before I can start adding short form content in, because yes, I could go like guns blazing and create, like enforce myself to create a load of short form content, but when I was doing that before I didn't kind of resonate with it and I was finding it very forced. I really enjoy doing these long form content like videos and how they make me feel and the editing and the process behind it. Once I'm into it, I do really enjoy it and it's kind of a creative escape for me. Short form, just not as much. So I recognize the value in short form content and kind of getting my name out there through TikTok, through Instagram. However, it's just not really where my headspace is at right now. And I think with my like mindset, with my schedule and everything, I don't think I should be putting a lot of focus on that right now. So my content over here isn't really going to shift, but you might see a little bit more of short form coming out at some points. I do want to start getting a little bit out there just when I've got like bits and pieces. So I've got a sunset video that I've been, and I'll insert a clip here as like a mindset reset, which might go up as a short form content, but it's nothing that I'm forcing. I'm not forcing that content and that creation. So okay, so the last few things that I wanted to talk about for this video, I was going to talk about them all separately, but more and more as the weeks have gone on that I've been putting off filming this video for some unknown reason, these things have kind of like come together. So the last three things that I need to discuss and go through is my financial kind of situation, budgets, those types of things, holiday plans and moving out plans. And you might think, why are they all linking in together? Obviously financially you can probably understand. So this week is the first week that I get paid my full pay from my new job, and not gonna lie to you guys, it was slightly more than I expected, which is always a bonus. So kind of going off that, I've worked out I'll actually be in a really good position if I stick to the budget that I've given myself, which we go to Milan and we go to Spain within the next 2 months. So am I gonna stick to my budgets? I don't know, but I'm hoping I will. If I stick to my budgets, then everything can kind of go ahead as planned. But basically, kind of financially, my goals now, so I was really fortunate to get quite a large tax rebate, which I was not expecting. And that has put me in a very good financial position because it's meant that I've paid off my parents. I've got about £100 left of my overdraft, and I've got I think I've got a Klarna payment that I need to go out, and I need to put some money back in bills. But this month is going to be a really good month to kind of pay my rent, and then I have a good lump sum that is to myself. Not quite as much as what it will be next month, because next month I won't have the outstanding bits and pieces that I need to pay for. So financially, kind of my goal over the next few months is to start saving, because Matt and I have had, or are going to have, and start having the discussion about moving out. Now, you can't just move out. You do need to save some money to get a deposit, and also because we are going to have to buy bits and pieces. I own quite a bit of house things purely for the fact that I've moved out a couple of times before. I've got the odd bits and pieces. However, I did get rid of a few bits because I was like, when I move out next, like I'm going to want to buy new, because all of this stuff has gone with me from Brighton uni to the flat that I have with my best mate, and then to Liverpool uni. So I was like, I'm gonna want fresh, which is going to be a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it means I can go out and buy all new. A curse because it means that I've got to spend my money to go out and buy all new. So that's not ideal, but ideally I would like to save between us about 2 to 3 grand before we can move out. Sounds like a lot, but deposits are generally anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500, and then that does give us a nice lump sum prior to moving out. Now, I know for me, I can kind of get that within the next few months and it'd be okay for Matt. I'm not too sure. That's kind of the discussion we need to have. And then we also need to talk about how much money we're going to have each month for rent, what kind of place we're looking for, where we're looking to buy, or not buy, where we're looking to rent, because where I live in Plymouth, we have a city, but Matt doesn't live in Plymouth. He lives outside of Plymouth, and so I don't think he's going to want to come and live into the city. So are we looking in the suburbs, basically? I personally don't really want to live in the city centre, but I also don't want to live too far out because my job is in the city. So it kind of doesn't make much sense for me to kind of move out to where he is now, because that would just mean extra money in fuel, extra money in bits and pieces. So obviously, if I can try and keep my bills to roughly where they are now, it means I can have like a good basings for how much I'm going to be able to spend on rent and bits and pieces like that. So Matt and I do need to sit down and have that discussion, but as I've said to him, we kind of need to make a decision, because I would love to pay for us to go away, like for his birthday. His birthday's in September, and I would absolutely love to pay for us to go away and have a really nice time away. However, when looking at, because I was kind of looking at all inclusives, so when looking at all inclusives, you're looking at about anywhere between, I would say reasonably, like £800 to £1,000. So it's doable. I can afford that. by September. Like, that's not a problem. However, with me saying I want to try and save about £3,000, that, or not me personally, but about £1,500, with me paying that much money out on a holiday, that's going to delay it back a little bit. So I'm hoping to have the money that I need saved by like October, November time. So we want to be in our new home by Christmas. That's kind of, I think, the long-term aim. If we could do it sooner, great. But realistically, we need to start looking at, because a lot of places require you to buy your own sofas and your own washing machines and bits and pieces like that. So we could potentially do it earlier and then buy those bits as we go. But that's a discussion that me and him need to have. And then kind of off the basis of that comes off the discussion of holiday plans and stuff like that. So I don't know whether we do. It's slightly cheaper. So I just book us like a hotel and flights and we go away, and then when we're out there we kind of split the money rather than doing an all-inclusive. I don't know, like obviously I wanted to keep it as much of a surprise for him as possible, but unfortunately kind of like with the chats of moving out and stuff, we are going to have to be a little bit more open about what potentially the plan is and what's going to happen. So that's a conversation that me and him need to have. So basically kind of like to sum all this up in a solid like two sentences. Financially, I'm in a very good position. I've got a great new budget coming out. My plan at the moment is just to try and save as much as I can, but also enjoy life. Moving out on holiday plans, I need to sort them out. That kind of is it summed up, because I can't make these decisions on my own. It's not something that I am obviously able to make decisions about on my own, because that's not fair. It affects his life as well. And yeah, we kind of need to like sit down and discuss it. But that does kind of give you the last little bit of the video. I hope this video you've enjoyed it, and let me know if you've got any tips and tricks on anything that I've kind of spoken about in this video. I do feel massively in a life slump and I'm stuck, so any tips, any tricks to kind of completing any of the goals that I've said about in this video, anything like that. My goals that I set at the start of the year do still stand. I know I missed out on it on my workout plan. I do still hope to run a 10k, and I'm hoping kind of skipping workouts will help with keeping my fitness up and potentially then returning back to running when it cools down a little bit more. But we shall see. I will review these goals as we go, and if I don't hit it, it's not the end of the world. I've stayed consistent with my workout routines, and that is what matters. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment down below if you've got any tips, tricks, or any questions about anything that's being discussed in today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe, because otherwise you might never see my face again. And if I know you, which I do because, you know, we're friends, you'll be devastated. So click that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.